Always on tonight. Throw that thing from left, right, side to side. Yeah. All my friends are here. Play my favorite song right on top. Yeah. And we never stop. Music bumping, we just keep on rolling. Yeah. No, we never stop. Shake, shake, shake your honey till the morning. Let me hear you say I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Let me hear you say I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Yeah, I said I wanna see you slide, slide, slide. I said I wanna see you shine, shine, shine. Always on tonight. Throw that thing from left, right, side to side. Yeah. All my friends are here. Play my favorite song right on time. Ooh, and we never stop. Music pumping, we just keep on rolling. No, we never stop. Shake, shake, shake your honey till the morning. Let me hear you say I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Let me hear you say I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Yeah, I said I wanna hear you slide, slide, slide. Yeah, come on now, now, now. I said I wanna hear you shine, shine, shine. I wanna see ya. I wanna see you. So let me hear you slide. I said I wanna see you slide, slide, slide. I said I wanna see you shine, shine, shine. Let me hear you say I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star. Let me hear you say I'm ready. I'm ready. Come on, now slide, slide, slide to the bar. Shine, shine, shine like a star.
Hey everybody, we are live. Finally. Yeah, it's been a bit since I have done a live feed. And I'm really sorry about that had to happen, but hopefully we can have some fun this evening. And guys, the background's not too loud and my voice, you can hear me. I show that I'm transmitting live through my mic. I've got a hot mic, so if it's not the case, please let me know. Otherwise, we're just gonna take it very chill tonight. I happen to be off tomorrow, so I'm just gonna have some fun with some drawings. And as you can see, I've already kind of worked up a drawing, and I hope you enjoy the buzzsaw, the music, and the screaming in the background. I worked hard to make that just perfect, so I hope it's not too loud. If you can't hear it, let me know. I'll raise it a little bit. I was a little concerned about it being too loud over my voice, so still learning the ins and outs of that, as far as background noise versus microphone. So anyway, but yeah, so I am and always have been a huge fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Ever since I saw it when I was a kid, it's always stuck with me. And now that I live in Texas, I think it's pretty funny that, I'm actually finding myself here. And I just saw the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie on Netflix. Did I like it? In some ways. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there was at least one kill that made me go, oh, haven't seen that before. Did I think they ripped off the revamping of the Halloween, bringing back the main character, who, by the way, was not actually the same actress. Unfortunately, the actress that played the final girl in the original 70s movie passed away, unfortunately. So they did have to find someone else to play that role. I kind of felt they ripped off the whole Halloween franchise with that. It was a really good subplot in the movie. I really enjoyed that part, but it was just kind of like it was almost like an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, why don't we just throw her in and she's hellbent on revenge? And I was like, and then she gets killed. Like I was just like, okay, that was a big letdown. At least let her kick some ass, a little bit of ass, but no, that didn't happen. I also feel that they ripped off the Jeepers Creepers franchise with the whole massacre on the bus. That's been done. That's probably one of my favorite scenes in the Jeepers Creepers movies, is that whole bus thing. And then here they kind of just did with it as well, and he just kind of mowed through some teenagers. I really found that actors, though, like the teenagers, to be uber annoying. I'm not around that generation much. Maybe that's how they are. If that's how they are, then it's probably a good thing. But I don't know. I kind of found the plot kind of weird. Like, oh, we're gonna come in and totally like make this a hippie place to be, and yeah, I don't know, that was strange. But you know what? Hey, I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't totally on board, so, I've seen it. Today I spent my time watching what was the one? Leatherface, The Beginning, or I think something like that. So supposedly it was like the prequel. I haven't seen that one in a really long time, so I watched it, and I've noticed something too in all the Texas Chainsaw movies, that the house changes all the time. Like, it's completely different from how it originally was. So I found that interesting when I watched the other one, where the girl is actually his cousin and she gets taken as a baby. I just finished watching that one. I enjoy that one as well. I think that one's kind of fun. But other than that, man, not much has been going on. Just some weather going on, and just life has like gotten in the way of my streaming lately. So I really appreciate you if you've stuck with me this long. And yeah, so tonight we're just gonna probably do some fine lining on this. I really tried hard to like get this pretty cohesive before tonight's stream, but I can already see some changes that I'm gonna make. So anyway, then how I arrived at my drawing was, I absolutely loved the dead sunflower field with him and that whole contrast. That was actually A+. That was very cinematically awesome, and from what I've read, everybody else feels the same way about that. Perfect. I love when his little head pops up. That was just really creepy. And as an allergy sufferer, I can just imagine what that field would be like if anybody disturbed it, like just slightly. So kind of set my nose off watching that. But then I thought, well, maybe Leatherface is just the way he is because he's sad, because nobody treats him well. His family doesn't treat him well, that's for sure. And I kind of feel like they've hinted at it a few times, where he's like some repressed homosexuality, or like he's screwed up in that way where he doesn't understand, like, he experiments, like in one, movie he puts on makeup and he puts it on really badly, or he's like going through, you know, the female members of his family. He's like trifling through their stuff, you know. So, you know, maybe he's just very misunderstood, and you know, he needs a hug. Somebody's gonna give him a sunflower because obviously he likes sunflowers, and maybe he needs a drag mother. That's what I was thinking. He probably would have been okay had those things happened. Yeah, and for whatever reason too, the whole Texas Chainsaw franchise, you know, it always got to me because, quite honestly, not saying that it really could happen. I mean, in all honesty, the amount of things that go on in the movies and whatnot, I mean, no, it couldn't really happen, but it could. And so it's always kind of creeped me out, the whole. But you know what's creeped me out more mostly is the family. The family creeps me out. And like Texas Chainsaw 2 that was done like in 83 or something like that. That whole movie really gives me the creeps. Like, it is just disgusting as far as like the way the family is, the way the house is. It's really gross. So it always kind of just skeezes me out when I see that one, and yeah. So, but so yeah. So then I was just like, well, you know, I thought it would be. I kind of chuckled to myself, thought, well, maybe it'd be funny if a little girl offers him a sunflower and he doesn't know what to do because he's like, wait a minute, nobody's ever treated me that way. So I drew this up with that in mind. And yeah, I don't know, kind of already amused with it. The only problem is I probably won't be able to market this on my site because I had my little chibi Leatherface up on my Etsy shop along with other horror icons that I've done. And I got a cease and desist order from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. So I hadn't sold it though, so it didn't, nobody bought it. But I did get a cease and desist order, and I didn't want Etsy to have another reason to take my shop down. I was worried about that, so I just pulled all of my prints, unfortunately. There is a couple I can probably put back up though. I've got a Wolfman and a Leprechaun. I'm trying to think of what else did I do. Yeah, I might. There's a couple that I might be able to put back up that aren't necessarily indicative of any franchise, so to speak. So, but yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, he's pretty easy to draw as far as what you do with him, because I mean, kind of just make it look like he's wearing a mask and mask made of skin. And yeah, just go from there, really. Yeah, that there. So, what else has been going on? I really want to, and I'm probably going to shoot for this on Saturday night, is I really want to do another series with you guys on like, you know, cryptids and you know what, I think I'm gonna loop this around his ear like he did in the movie that just came out, because there was a lot of talk about that too. They're like, how does he get that to stick on his face? Well, in previous movies he's and in fact in the one that I watched, the beginnings, when he cuts the boyfriend's face off, he like has it stitched in the back and then he just pulls it tight. Kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, The Bone Collector. It's kind of like that, kind of that same process where it's like he's got it looped in the back. But in this case, in this new movie, he loops the ears around his own ears to kind of hold it on. So kind of like a mask, like right now. Like I have a mask that's like that right now, where it loops back behind my ears. And yeah, kind of holds on that way. So I think, yeah, that's what we'll do. Kind of do that. I'm sorry, my original drawing is so sloppy, you guys, but it will look better, I promise. I feel like I'm drawing with a crayon, but there's a reason for that. I just, when I'm fast sketching out something, I like to have pretty bold lines and then just kind of go from there. And like this stripe on his shirt, you know, that's probably going to be after I draw it. Draw it. After I draw it. Yeah, and I'm kind of looking right here, like thicker. Cool. Sleeves, rolled up sleeve. Probably better. Pants. And two, I haven't decided how I want to do the teeth on the saw. But I think they're not like shark teeth. They're more like, trying to think. I think I've seen a saw in a very long time, and the ones they had in the movie, it was like so fast you didn't really get a good look at it. I think the saw teeth are more like this. Like, see if I can figure this out by myself. More like that, I think. Like they're not exactly pointy, but they're kind of flat on the top. I like that. So I like the way that one is. So I'm probably gonna just copy paste this for a bunch of million times. Since I can, and that way they're a little bit more uniform. Yeah, so if you've seen the new Texas Chainsaw movie, let me know what you think. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Why didn't you like it? Why did you like it? I really would like to see an actual series done, like they've done Scream and the other franchises. I think would be kind of cool just to have a chainsaw one. But if they do it, they've got to do it gritty, man. They got to get that grit in there. Ooh, something else. Speaking of grit, something else that I watched that was recommended was Brand New Cherry Flavor, and let me tell you, I am in love. Love that show. I'm absolutely in love with Boro, even though Boro is evil. I couldn't figure out why the lady that was playing Boro's character, like I couldn't figure out like what, like I thought this isn't Mary Steenburgen, so I'm like, who is this lady and why does she give out such cool eerie vibes? Duh, she was the wife in Get Out. She was the psychiatrist. The little teaspoon. Yeah. So, I really liked her in this. Spoiler alert. Yeah. I hope there's a season 2. I really do. I may read the book since it's based on a book. I may read that. Oh. And yeah, I like that one. I hope that Netflix is smart and renews that one. Oh, and which I'm gonna probably, since I'm off tomorrow, I don't have a lot of plans other than drawing, because there is nothing better, you guys, than drawing all day and just chilling out and just focusing on something other than what you're paid to do for a living. I absolutely love it. So other than that, I hope to finish up The Witcher. I actually started watching that again. I had watched it when it first came out, and I was like, eh. It didn't really catch me. But to be honest, I only gave it like one episode, and then I probably just went to something else. What is going on here? Oh, I see. Alright, let's start combining these here. I forgot when it does copy and paste, it puts them all in separate little windows. I think I like those. I like those teeth. Anyway, back to The Witcher. I am on season 2, and I'm like probably halfway through. And man, I'm loving it. It's like, it's almost like what Game of Thrones probably should have been, or could have been, or I don't know. It's just done really well, but yeah, it's hard for me to kind of pinpoint it. But I mean, and I was a die-hard Game of Thrones fan, but man, you gave me an ending like that. I was not happy. Not happy with that at all. So, yeah. I'm excited to see what season 2 bring. Oh, what else? What else? Man, I just feel like it's been so long. I'm like trying to think of what else to talk about. I am out of words here, guys. You have no idea how happy I was last night, though, when I was on Epidemic Sound, and I'm like, I wonder if they have chainsaw sounds. Did. And then, do they have screaming? Oh yes, they did. Various types of screaming, no less. Individual screamers, and then I think this is a crowd scream. And they got zombie stuff, and yeah, and then I just picked like a kind of a psycho stalker kind of slasher song. I can hear it in the background. Is this kind of loud? I don't know why. It does. Like if I was a DJ, this is what I would play a little bit of this. Oh man. So I'll take this one out. What? No, can't. What? This guy here. Okay, how are we gonna do this? Boom. let's continue. If you're watching, whoa. What was that about? That was weird. Let me know what your favorite Texas Chainsaw movie is. If you have one. Maybe you don't have one. Maybe you completely hate the franchise. This is how I would rate my evil slasher that are supernatural, never seem to die type dudes. Yeah, I think I would put Leatherface first. He's pretty gruesome. Plus he's big and he's bulky and he's, you know, strong and scary. And we'll cut you up and eat you. Let's see, after that. I always feel that Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees are kind of like in that same, like they're brothers. So, I just don't know. Like they're both different in their own way. I probably would have to go with Michael Myers next. No, wait, no, Jason Voorhees. Yeah, Friday the 13th I think would be my next favorite genre of that. So yeah, Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th. And then I'm gonna do Michael Myers. Halloween, I never really was a huge Halloween fan. I mean, I like it, but yeah, it's just not my favorite. So then I would probably go, let me look on my wall here, make sure I'm not missing. So I mean, obviously I like Jason because I have a huge Jason poster over my wall. I don't even have a Funko Michael Myers. I have a Halloween pin. It's like a bush and he like creeps out from behind the bush. That's pretty cool, but it's because it moves. It was available, so that's why I have it. But yeah, I would have to say Jason, and then I think I probably would put Freddy Krueger even before Michael Myers in my favorites. Freddy Krueger gets a little boring after a while to me. But I do remember the whole blood scene in the very first movie just freaked me out when I was a kid because I was just like, that's so much blood. But then as an adult, I'm like, God, how did they do that? Like, what kind of feats did they have to do to create that, you know? And then I always crack up because I tell my wife that, you know, you should never poo-poo horror movies because most famous actors start out doing horror movies. It's because it's lower budget and they're available, right? So Johnny Depp, take for instance, Johnny Depp was in the first Freddy Krueger movie, and you know, now you know he's a big actor. There's all kinds of actors that, you know, like I said, got their start in a horror movie. Most of them, not all of them, but most of them. Especially in the 70s and the 80s. Maybe not so much now. But like, you know, like Chloe Grace Moretz. I mean, she started out in a horror movie. She's got a couple of her own movies. Let me think of something else that's just starting out. Or like, oh my gosh, what is her name? She was in Interview for a Vampire, and then she was later in True Blood. She was Sookie. I cannot think of her name. Oh, that's bad. But, you know, she started out that way in a horror movie. Vampires, and then made a living from vampire movies. Who else? There was someone in the... Oh, I'm gonna look it up because I couldn't remember who he was in the first Leatherface movie that I watched today. And I know I've seen him in other things. is he not in here? Okay, that's weird. Oh! That's the newer Leatherface movie. Hold on. I don't... I've seen it. Let's see. Texas Chainsaw 3. Face. It's called Leatherface. I also did just finish watching a documentary about Leatherface as well, and it was very interesting, or just about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in general. The original is, I think, what, 74 version? It was a really good documentary. Like, they just talked about how, you know, it was getting, like, stinky, and it was hot, and just smelly, and because it was in the middle of summer, and it's in Texas, and they're trying to, you know, film it, and just everything that went on with that. Yeah, that was interesting. I don't think I finished it, but I need to. Just do Texas Chainsaw because it's not pulling up what I want. And I can see this guy in my mind, and okay, so there was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning in 2006. Watched that one first. Oh, Matt Bomer. That's who yeah. He was the boyfriend. And I couldn't figure out, I was like, I know this dude, but I cannot place him. And yeah. Matt Bomer. And also been in a lot of American Horror Story. So I should have remembered him, but I didn't. And then I watched, I think I watched the 2013 one. Yes, the one where she, Alexandria Daddario, I like her, goes and she inherits the house from her aunt, and he's living there. So yeah, those are the two I watched today. So yeah, and so we still got the one from 2003, which they kind of, I think that's the one where they redid it. We've got the Next Generation. We've got Texas 3, Texas Chainsaw 2, which is the one I was talking about with Dennis Hopper, and yeah, that was just really weird, that one. But yeah, I've pretty much seen them all. Even, oh, here we go. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Next Generation. Yeah, ooh, that got, that did not get rated well, but you know what? Guess who was the lead girl? Oh my gosh. Oh wow, wait a minute. All right, so we have Renee Zellweger as the final girl, and Matthew McConaughey. Can you believe that? In a little tiny 1994 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that got 3.3 stars on IMDb. Yeah. Lots of actors that start out with horror movies. I don't know that was Matthew's first movie. Let me see. Let's look at all his filmography, and we will sort it from oldest to newest. We're gonna do. Okay. All right. So it looks like he began. Oh, he was on Dazed and Confused, that movie. It was his. Let's see. He was in a music video with Trisha Yearwood way back in '92. He was in Dazed and Confused. That was a pretty good movie. Another movie called My Boyfriend's Back. A teenage boy comes back from the dead because he's determined to win the most beautiful girl in school. How have I ever missed that movie? That looks like it might be fun. And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation in 94. So that was his third movie. Yeah. Interesting. Doesn't look like he ever did another horror movie. Oh, maybe he did. Another movie called Lone Star that looks a little creepy. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah. Before he kind of got really big. He did a lot of movies. He had to do a lot of movies before he kind of got really, like, popular, I would say. Got to, like, 2000 or so. Oh, he was in Frailty, though. I love that movie. That's one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Actually need to get my wife to watch that one because I really love it. I just love how it messes with your brain, messes with your mind. But yeah, he had to work hard. Good for him though. I mean, been in a lot of movies now, but yeah, had to work really hard to get there. Killer Joe. I've never heard when a debt puts a young man's life in danger, he turns to putting a hit out on his evil mother in order to collect the insurance. Why have I not seen this one? Interesting. That takes place in Texas as well. Looks like. Huh. I'm gonna have to watch that. See? Found some more movies to watch. Alright, let's see. Yeah, y'all, he had to do a lot of movies before he actually got to Dallas Buyers Club, which kind of put him on the map. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot of movies. Certainly never gave up, for sure. Huh. Interesting. Alright, well that's probably more than you wanted to know about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Matthew McConaughey. There's some other people in here that were famous as well. Let me just look and see if there's anybody else. Although Paul Partain, wasn't he in the original? Oh my god, he was! Ah, Paul, he was the guy in the wheelchair in the original one. And then he was also in this one. He was Franklin in the very first Texas Chainsaw. And then he's a hospital orderly in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. So that was interesting to see. And Marilyn Burns was also... so she was the original final girl in the original Texas Chainsaw from... yeah, so that was pretty cool. So she was also in... she was also in the 2013 version of Texas Chainsaw, playing herself. But she sadly passed away in August of 2014. So that was a bummer. Otherwise she would have been in this brand new version of Texas Chainsaw, but she wasn't. So, but yeah, she was in some, of course, other science fiction horror type movies. That some of these are good ones. Let's see, we've got The Butcher Boys, and let's see what else. Future Kill. Yeah, there's some good movies that she was in. Let's see what else. And then she did some... Looks like she did like some kind of really low budget stuff too, and a lot of documentaries. Of course, she would want to be. You would want her, in your documentary if you were doing anything remotely. Yeah, now I remember, he was like the bad guy. Matthew McConaughey was like he was a douchebag in this Texas Chainsaw. I think he might have been maybe he was part of the family. I think he might have been. There's a scene here where he's holding her face. So, good times. Good times. Alright, well, let's continue with putting down some chainsaw lines, and I'm just gonna refresh the chat here a bit. I know the last time I streamed there was some issues with users being able to chat, but I think things are okay. So if you want to chat, definitely let's chat. If you just want to hang out and watch me draw, then let's do it. If it kicks up a little bit, I apologize. I have lost somehow both of my drawing gloves, and I need to order some more. I lost my one with my skeleton hand on it. I don't know where it went, and I don't know why I'm seem to be losing them now for some reason versus before. I don't know what's different, but yeah, losing them for sure. Make sure that looks good. Duplicate that way. Easier. All right. Get a few more teeth in here. Maybe like one more, and then I'm just gonna duplicate that one side. Pick up that one side and just flip it. Flip it and reverse it. Alright, let's pinch those guys together. Let's do all that. And then this whole section. Duplicate that. Whoop, and flip it. Flip it. There we go. And I'm just gonna pop it in there. So a little bit of a screw up, but that's okay. That's all right. We can fix that. Nice. Yeah, that looks good. I wonder if I should put one more tooth right there, because technically Yeah, the chainsaw's coming out right there. I'm a sucker for details. What can I say? I'm gonna take one of these then. And we're gonna come back here with it. Put it in there like that. But then I'm gonna take it out right here. And then later when I go to put lines in, like I'll be like, what is that? Sometimes I draw really crowded, like stuff gets crowded. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you not? Is it funny? I'm trying to decide on her expression too, because before I had a big old smile in there, but it's more like are you gonna take this from me? And then I just put a dress on her, but I was kind of almost thinking of doing it up like you know how in the 60s it would be, kind of like, you know, a little midriff right here, shirt. Or just leave it pretty plain. Leave it. I feel like she needs something like a bow or something in the back. Makes it look like she's wearing an apron then. Okay, well, I don't see any major flaws that I can't change when I start to actually draw. I just think those will make a good, like a good card that just says, I'm sorry on the inside. And it'll just leave you to say which one's saying I'm sorry. The little girl's saying she's sorry, the little Leatherface is saying he's sorry. I feel like it, I could do a little question mark. He's like, what? What is this? Someone's being nice to me. That's never ever happened. Like if we, I don't know, it might look stupid if we did a thought bubble. Which is a big question mark in it. What? What the? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think his expression's kind of like, his face is like, chainsaw's down. He's awkward. Doesn't know what he wants to do. Like he needs more stitches. things like I put the stuff really close together. I didn't mean to do that, really. Space around his mouth. Oops. Alright. Wait, let me think about this for a second. No, I don't like that. I like the way it was. I don't know why, but oh, I still think we need a long scar. He, you know, probably ripped those lips when he took it off, or from whoever he took it from. We got that going over the ear. We get his. I like maybe I should have it like drooping. Oh yeah. Oh. And he's like what? I mean, I feel like the eyes would be drooping. The eyelids would be, or not, or maybe he just gets around, cut that part out, but he's kind of like, I don't know what you're doing. What are you doing, little girl? You're not supposed to be nice to me. Let's see. How does that look? Let's try that. I can make all my mistakes right here before I even... Oh, I see what I did. Like, why doesn't that look right? Or maybe we leave the other one circular. And that one loop, that one drooping. Yeah, that's what we do. Get like, give the allure of like sagging skin. I don't know if I'm happy with that nose either. I think it would be hard to like do like some skin, like the tip of it sticking out. Like that just complicates it. Maybe. That might work. Maybe we need to continue with that split there. I don't think I like that. Like his, yeah. For whatever reason, it didn't work. I mean, we'll be able to tell that he's, you know, it's his mask probably when we draw it out and color it, but I just thought, well, maybe there's something else we could do with it, but I think, I mean, it's pretty much a given. We know he's wearing someone else's skin. I'm just fussing at this point. We need to lay down some lines. Let's see. Try to see if there's anything else. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're good to start. So, this is why I do my lines in red, because when I mute it, and I can see what's actual versus what I'm trying to achieve with my lines. Alright, so we're gonna go with not that thick for sure. Okay. I try to do a little practice run over my, decide which ink, which pen I want to use. Basically, because even though it is on digital, each pen still has a flow to it, I guess you would say. And they feel different, they draw different, so sometimes I have to draw a little bit before I can be like, yeah, that's the look I'm going for. Two, kind of trying to decide you know, how do I want it to look ultimately before I color. Try something else here. Let me try the round liner and see what that does. Oh, it's big. And it's thick. Maybe that's too small. Really rough, that I don't think I'm This one, I think that one's usually, use that one for like coloring and shading. Yeah, that's really thick. All right. Back to this one, I think. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. That one's pretty consistent. Yeah, so far so good. Okay. Bad, not bad. That. I just, the chainsaw in the background just reminded me, and you could probably still find it, but there's a video out there where I think these kids had stayed up really late at night watching, I think it was Texas Chainsaw, I'm pretty sure it was that, and they were sleeping, and their father came in while they were sleeping, and mom threw on the light, and the dad's there with a mask and a chainsaw, revving the chainsaw, and they scream so loud, and it always cracks me up because the child looks at the dad and goes, "What's wrong with you?" Like, because, you know, he's, and I just, that makes me chuckle, because not that I would go to that extreme, but would probably be that way with my child, like scaring them and, you know, just doing stuff like that, because I mean, that's how I grew up, and that's probably why I have such a warped sense of humor. But you know, my mom would go so far as to go to the outside screen, because I grew up in California, and so we would leave the windows open at night for the air to come in, and I can remember plenty of time she would go up to the screen and she would like scratch it, right, and you'd be like, make these sounds. And my brother, he's like a year and a half younger than me, he would freak the fuck out. Like, he would just be like, "There's something out there," and I'd be like, "Dude, it's mom." Like, after a bit I was like, "It's mom." You'd be washing dishes, and the window right over the sink was fairly low. My dad would go out there and jump up and scare the piss out of you at any given time. So that was yeah, that was my upbringing, sort of, at certain times. So, but I am forbidden in my household currently to do any of those things. If I did any of that to my wife, I'd probably be divorced. Just kind of not fun. Anyway, a lot of times she scares me. Like, I'll think she's gone or she's stepped out, and then I'm in the bedroom or something else, and she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like, I'm the one that gets scared, and she's just not even trying to scare me, and I get scared. So, but Man, yeah, good times, good times. But that dad, you know, waking his boys up with that chainsaw, man, is just classic. Classic. And I think the premise is that they were told to go to bed and not stay up and watch it, and I think they did it anyway, so they were kind of like, this is what you get, which is just hilarious. Yeah, I'm like, has anybody else grown up that way where, you know, maybe not practical jokers, but your parents trying to scare the shit out of you all the time and laughing about it, not even caring if it like really scared you or not, which I don't ever remember that being an issue, but my brother kind of had issues from the beginning. Like, he was not on board with Santa Claus at all. He literally, I can remember, because you used to go to the department store. You didn't go to the mall, you went to a department store to get your picture taken with Santa. And I remember him just crying and crying and crying. And I don't get it. Like, what is it about Santa that scares you? But I don't know. Something about him that he did not like. So, my parents scaring us probably did not help him much, I would imagine. And then, yeah, there's been times too when I've been thinking of decorations for Halloween, and I've been told I have to tone it down so that I don't scare the little kids in the neighborhood. And I'm like, if you don't get scared at Halloween, like, where is the fun in that? I mean, I remember going trick-or-treating, and there were some houses that were completely decked out and super cool, and thinking, like, I'm scared, but it's cool at the same time. I don't really know what's gonna happen. Is that real? Is it not real? Like, you know, what's gonna happen when we get up there? That was the fun of it. Man, they did not... There was no way, like, if a neighbor was gonna be scary for Halloween, they were scary. They didn't... It wasn't like, oh, we're gonna scare the little kids. It was just like, I hope you get scared, you know? So, that's how it was for me growing up. But I guess maybe kids nowadays are a little more, you know, bottled, maybe. But yeah, I'm in the camp of, hey, you know what? Halloween is supposed to be scary. Halloween is supposed to make you think, I really want to go up there for candy. But then you do, see, and then you conquer your fear and you get up there and you're like, hey, that wasn't really that scary. The people that answer the door are really awesome, even though they're dressed up. They're just as dressed up as I am. And I'm a kid and they're an adult. And I'd be like, yeah, dude, like, do it. Do your Halloween. But yeah. It's been a long time since I've dressed up. I haven't dressed up in a really long time, and part of that is because I'm not going into the office. So I would do it at work. I would dress up. I don't care if you think that I am too old to be dressing up or not. I don't care what you think about that, because it's all in fun, not hurting anyone. And I even dressed up at work for May the 4th be with you. I dressed as a Jedi, lightsaber, had my little BB-8, everything. It was a hit. Everyone loved it. Everyone smiled. I was glad to bring a smile to people's faces. And I think there was one other person that dressed as Darth Vader, and that was the shit. But unfortunately, we did not get our pictures taken together. One guy did ask to take my photo, though, so that he could show it to his daughter. Maybe that's what it was. She went to work as Darth Vader, and so he took my picture to show her. What else have I done? I went to work as Georgie from the movie It. Went specifically to the party store the night before to get me a red balloon, and I just prayed that it would last through the night, and it did. So that was probably the last time I dressed up. That had to have been, it was probably October of 2018, because when COVID hit in March, that was it. We were out of the office, and and at home. We've been home since. So, but yeah, I've had a lot of different costumes throughout work, and sometimes my department, you know, will the department will go along with it, and sometimes not. Did a really fun one for a work one. The whole team, we were Alice in Wonderland characters, so I was the rabbit, the white rabbit. That was a lot of fun to do. If I find, I'll go and find these photos, and I'll post them on my Discord or Instagram so you guys can see the ones over the years. I also dressed up as a lab technician, and I tied all these sheep on me. Like I even made the sheep, and I attached them to my scrub because I was a character in a movie called Black Sheep, where the sheep are genetically, I guess they genetically mutate and they go crazy. And I have yet to ever see that movie, but I took the idea from that movie, made myself a little lab card and everything. I mean, I went all out. The little sheep, like I said, I made a little sheep out of styrofoam and cotton balls, put blood all over me. That was so much fun. And then I got down on the ground and I was like holding off a sheep like this, like it was attacking me. Man, that was fun. I enjoy just doing that kind of stuff, like making my own costumes. You know, coming up with an idea, because too, like, you know, when I was a kid, we didn't really have a whole lot of like pre-made costumes like there is nowadays. If you wanted to be something, and two, you know, if your parents didn't have a whole lot of money to shell out on a costume, there were like those really awful hard plastic masks that you could put on, and you could be, I think they were like Nancy Drew or some kind of weird Scooby. There was a Scooby-Doo one, I think, now that I remember. And then they had these other things that my brother and I were these one. They were like this inflatable spider weird thing that it was like an inflated, but you put it on top of your head and you tied it under, and it was something else that went with it. I remember doing that one year. Yeah, I remember being a sailor several times. Hobos, oh my gosh, that was a great one to do because you didn't need a whole lot to do that. One year I actually was a legit sailor and put on my dad's dress blues because he was in the Navy. And they had beautiful embroidered dragons on the inside of the arm that he got when he was in Singapore. But yeah, I put that on and it actually fit, and I actually got to wear that one year for Halloween. That was a lot of fun. I can't think of what else. Oh, one time, this was in high school, and my boyfriend at the time, yes, I had a boyfriend in high school. He worked for a pretty well-known company in the mall, and I sat out front as the Invisible Man. I completely wrapped up my head in white gauze, and had the hat, I had the suit, I had gloves on, I had sunglasses on, and I sat out front and waited for people to come up to me, and then I moved. And I scared this one lady so bad, I thought she wet herself. She might have even. She screamed so loud that everybody turned around and they were like, what the fuck? And I said, I am so sorry. And then she was like, oh my god, no, that was the best thing ever. And then of course, you know, they take their photos with me, but that was a lot of fun. That was way back in the day. You know, I don't think you could do that now in a public space. You'd probably get the cops called on you, but you know, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I've had some good times with dress up for sure. But you know what? I've never been to an adult Halloween party. Let me think that for a minute. Let me make sure that's right. Right, pretty sure. Now I threw a party with my best friend at the time. We threw a party for our friends, and it was super cool because her mom let us go get dry ice, and we put it in the pool. She had a big cement pool, in-ground pool, and so it was like all and we were like set at the whole background, like the backyard. We thought we were so cool and so bitchin'. That was a lot of fun. I remember that. I remember doing that. I don't really remember much about the party, but I remember getting it set up and just the setup part of it. And man, if somebody would have told me back when I was young that I could make a living at either doing like making monsters or set design for horror movies, things like that, man, I would have done it. I would have so done it because I love doing that stuff. So yeah, that would have been a lot of fun for sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I've dressed up as. Well, I was a hobbit one year. I even went so far as to get like this fake fur kind of stuff and I put it on my feet. So I had fur on my feet. Yeah, I'm a sucker for details, man. You gotta do details when you're gonna dress up as something, for sure. And I mean, I guess it could do some cosplay now, but and I've done medieval. I've done the medieval thing. Gosh, I had even my own. I even had my own sword with a. I made a cross. I guess like a harness for it that I would wear. I made that, and had my own legit sword. Had my own like kind of top, and yeah, I went to a couple medieval festivals that way. And actually, I had a union ceremony with my ex, and that's what we did it. We dressed up in medieval garb and had a ceremony in a circle of stones. So did that whole process, and it was kind of, I was so young. I mean, I wouldn't do that now, but it was so young, and it just so much full of just opportunity and imagination and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Magical, hello, welcome. How are things going? I was just babbling on about my dress up options and my dress up opportunities throughout life. I dress up like for Halloween or Renaissance fairs, things like that. And we're talking mostly, or I was talking earlier, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. So I just watched the new movie on Netflix, and I'm humoring myself by drawing a little girl giving Leatherface a flower, just showing some kindness to him, and he doesn't know what to do with it. So that's what tonight's topic is. I spent some of today rewatching some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. So I was talking about that earlier. But yeah, just finally got it to where I think I want it. So of course now we're laying out the lines on it. So not really doing a whole lot. Been on for about an hour and 20 minutes or so. So we'll go for a little bit longer. But yeah, what's new with you? Been here and there. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming by. Yeah, I never know if there's anybody around or not, so I just ramble on about things. Being able to talk, I struggle. I mean, yeah, I think that I have, of course they always say have a topic, so I have a topic. It goes with tonight's drawing. But sometimes I struggle because I'm like, I don't know what to talk about next. That's why the Saturday night campfire stories thing is good, because I can just keep talking about campfire stories, which I think I'm gonna do this Saturday. I don't know if you saw my last one. I've missed like my last 3 streams, just cause different various reasons, but I kind of want to make that campfire thing a regular thing on Saturday nights, just so that there is something to talk about. Because yeah, that is one of the tips, is to talk even though you don't think anybody's there, is to just keep talking until someone pops in and says, hey. And I don't know if I've asked you this, but I mean, do you like horror movies at all? Are you into them at all, or no? Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I sometimes struggle with it too. I struggle with paying attention to it. Like I'm very much of like I'll put it on and it's like in the background, or it's off to the side, but I'm doing something else. But then I have stuff that I know I want to give my attention to, but then they just continue to sit in my queue because I'm like, oh, I don't have the time to like actually just pay attention to that right now. So I get it. I get it. Right, right. Yep. Yeah, good thing we have DVRs and whatnot now too, and the ability to pause TV, because otherwise we would miss it for sure. Because back when I grew up, there was no... I mean, we didn't even have VCRs for a long time. So, yeah, I mean, when stuff was on, that's when you watched it. Oh, see, I haven't seen that yet. I'm not going to the theaters just for safety reasons. I mean, I don't like them anyway. I don't like listening to other people chew on their food, and if they're talking, and just, just in general. I mean, I try to be good about it because my wife loves going to the movies. So I'll do it for her, but I'm in no hurry really to get back to going to the movies. I'm just... And I hardly will ever pay for a horror movie, just cause the chance of it sucking are pretty good. In fact, I didn't even see Get Out for the longest time until everybody just kept raving about it, and then I was like, okay, I gotta go see it, and I was glad I saw it. It's one of my favorite movies. But yeah, I'm a stickler for that. Usually I'll just wait for it to come up to where it's, on one of the channels that I have. Oh, well, that's nice. Not here where I live. It's It's a pretty brisk business. And then it's like, it's just so expensive. Like, this is how we would do it. Like, if whoever bought the tickets, then the other person would get the concessions, you know? But, man, it was not... Literally almost every time would spend more on the food than we did the tickets. It was crazy. But then we just try to sneak in stuff. And we used to be able to stop at Dunkin' Donuts and get the little donut holes, like each get one, and my wife would sneak it in her purse. And then we would get coffee because we'd go see like the early like 11 o'clock show on like Sunday, and yeah, we would do that and then sneak in. We'd buy some coffee there and then sneak in the donuts, and yeah, that was fun. That was some good times there. I do miss the soft pretzels though. I will say that. Pretzels are the bomb. And I do like me an icy as well, so... I know, right? And I watched something the other day. It was from someone that worked at a movie theater, I think. And they said that, like, if they see you with it, like, you know, food from outside, they can't technically search your purse or your belongings. So even though if they might think that you're doing it, like if you're blatantly like bringing in like cheeseburgers and a bunch of stuff that they know is not from there, like I think they would say something. But like just, you know, sneaking in a bit, I guess they can't legally like ask to search your belongings. So I didn't know that. So it kind of takes some of the fun out of it because we thought we were being badasses by, you know, sneaking in and taking stuff in. But yeah. But did you like The Resident? Did you like it? Have you watched the other movies? I've seen all the other ones, so I do plan on seeing this one. Well, did they like it? Did they say, were they like, yeah, that was cool, or, you know? I mean, it's a franchise that you can just keep going with because there's so much to it. I mean, you got the evil Umbrella Corp that keeps making, you know, zombies out of things. So there's always plenty of scenarios that you can come up with that. So it's a franchise that keeps on giving. Yeah, I know. You can always, yeah. I usually watch those movies kind of for the special effects. Like I like to see what kind of monsters they come up with. So, but kudos to you for going and supporting your friend, even though it wasn't something you really, you know, would pick yourself. I'm sure they appreciated it. There aren't a lot of us. I mean, there's a lot of us horror fans out there, but to actually find someone in your immediate surrounding that is just as fanatic about horror movies as you are is rare. So sometimes you have to beg your friends to go with you that aren't necessarily horror fans. And Yeah, I had that happen to me once. I'm a big Rob Zombie fan. I love his music. I love his movies. And it was when Salem, or what was that one with the witches? Lords of Salem. So she was like, yeah, let's go, let's go see the new Lords of Salem movie. And I was like, yeah, well, the new, they had just remade the Evil Dead. And I said, well, yeah, let's see Evil Dead and then we can see Lord of Salem afterwards, right? Or a horror fan's ultimate way to spend the afternoon. And she was like, yeah, let's do that. And it's like, all right, cool. And, we talked about his other movies and, he's not like, his movies are graphic, right? So I thought she was down for this. And so we got through the Evil Dead movie, totally loved it. And then she's like, sitting there with me and we start getting into the Lords of Salem movie and she's like, yeah, I don't think this is for me. I'm gonna jet. And I was like, okay. But yeah, thanks. But yeah, she really wasn't a true Rob Zombie fan. Because if you were, you would have stayed. And that's actually one of my favorite movies as well. I know it's kind of weird. It's very out there. It gets really trippy towards the end, but I don't know. I like it. I just like it for some reason. Well, I love anything about witches. I love. So, I love all that. I love folk horror, which I used to say was satanic horror, but it's not. It's more folk horror, like Midsummer, The Wicker Man, those kind of things. That's a subgenre of horror movies that I absolutely love. So like old school, like Rosemary's Baby, one of my ultimate favorite movies for so many reasons. Anything that's got any hint of like satanic worship to it or just like paganism and things, I really enjoy. So that's probably why I liked it so much. But yeah. But I was grateful that she went and she at least sat through Evil Dead with me, because that was pretty gory too. I mean, especially since they had, new ways of doing things at their disposal since, they had more technology. So and so was and you might not know this, but I guess I could look it up. Was Mila Jovovich in this one? Like, is she still? Let me see. I have to look it up now. Resident Evil. Was it Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City? Is it that one? Oh, it's set in 98. Oh, it's an origin story. Oh. Nope, she is not in it. I don't think. I don't see her anywhere. Oh, okay, and it's on Prime Video, so I may have to watch that tomorrow. Oh, she is in it? Or that's the one that it is. It's Welcome to Raccoon City. Okay, so it's kind of like a mysterious Spencer mansion in the ill-fated Raccoon City. Ooh. Ooh, that was creepy. It's like a zombie vampire thing. Alright. Yeah, I might have to... I think I can spend $4.99 to watch it. I think she's in it. Yeah, no, she has... I don't think she has been. I think she actually got killed off. Eventually. Oh yeah, see, and this is a franchise that, like I said, there's so many plots that you can do with it, because you've always got zombies and monsters. As long as you have that, you can make one of these. So yeah, I'm off tomorrow, so I might have to watch it or watch it this weekend. I'll see if I can get my wife to watch it with me. She's been a lot better about the horror movies because I've kind of showed her some, some good ones, and she's like, I don't like being scared, and I'm like, well, they all usually have a formula, and they're gonna try to jump scare you first, and that could be sound, music, anything, and so she kind of knows when it's coming now, so I think that's helped. And she really likes vampires. She likes a lot of vampire stuff. So, like, I've shown her, of course, the Blade trilogy. That has to be done. And then, like, some of my favorites, like, is it 30 Days of Night, where they're in Alaska? And I said, hey, Josh Hartnett's in this one. So yeah, so she likes that. There's been some others, like we watched The Strain that was on TV. I read the books. The books were freaking awesome. So we did that. True Blood, of course, we were big fans of that. But yeah, any kind of vampire thing she likes. We were big fans of The Walking Dead too, up until about maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago. We stopped watching it. We watched that every single week. That was something we did. So you probably would like this one. Yeah, so you don't like the gory stuff. Yeah. I've seen some movies that I very rarely recommend to people unless I know that they've seen other movies where I'm kind of like, yeah, you can take this. But yeah, there's some really just I don't like gore for the sake of gore. Like, if it's gonna be gory, there's gotta be there's gotta be a reason behind it. So but yeah, I mean, I don't it doesn't bother me. Obviously, I watch a lot of horror movies, so but I think you can have a very good horror movie and have no blood at all. I've seen really good horror movies like that, or very little blood. It's almost like if it leads more to the imagination, sometimes that's better than just being like, here it is in your face. So yeah, I get you. And some people just aren't about that. It really affects them, and that's okay too. But yeah, I am at the point now where when I watch a horror movie, is it something I've seen before? Like, have I seen this already? Like, are you gonna show me something I haven't seen yet? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from, is all right, wow me and show me something I haven't already seen. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Psychological, yeah. Yeah, like the whole Saw series and whatnot. It's like, how many times can you watch that? Where, But then again, I'm a big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, how many movies can they make out of that? Where he's just going around with his chainsaw and gutting everybody. I guess it just depends on your. I'm not a big Saw fan. I mean, I remember seeing the first one, and then I watched this most recent one, which was Spiral, I think. And then I did watch. I think they were like, number 6 was like a really bad one, so I was like, all right, I'll watch it, and it was pretty gory, but it was, when I watch the Saw movies, and I haven't seen them all, but it's kind of like, all right, so you're making a trap, you make a puzzle, they gotta figure it out, they gotta cut a body part off. It's like, yeah, that was good back in 2005 when this first came out, but now it's just kind of like, all right, it's been there, done that. So at some point you have to stop it, but they keep going with it. I mean, I guess it's the biggest franchise. Actually, a fun fact about Saw is that it was originally supposed to be produced in Australia, I believe. And if I remember right, I remember going to a conference where they were talking about this movie. And in Australia, they can't just make a movie, or they couldn't maybe they can now, but it was regulated by the government. So they would have to make their proposal and get a grant to make a movie. And they said no. It was too disgusting. They weren't gonna allow them to make it. And so they came to the US and made it here instead, and then look how big it became. It became a huge franchise. So yeah, it just depends on, I guess then in that sense I would probably want to continue making those movies as well. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty out there, pretty intense. But for somebody like me, I could put it on and just letting it go and be doing something like this. Like I'm kind of immune to it, I guess, but it always cracks me up when I'm watching something like Texas Chainsaw. There's a lot of screaming that goes on, especially like in the 74 version. And my wife will be like, "What are you watching? Why is there so much screaming?" And I'm like, she's being gutted by a chainsaw. It's no big deal." So, yeah, it's there's movies that I definitely put aside to watch when it's just me. Yeah. Yeah. And I can remember getting really freaked out by some movies when I was a kid too. So, but I talked about it earlier. The first Freddy Krueger movie, Nightmare on Elm Street, when Johnny Depp's character, when we're talking about actors starting out in horror movies earlier as well, he gets taken into the bed, and then all that blood comes out of the bed. And it just like coats everything, and I was just like, that freaked me out as a kid. I was like, what? Yeah. But then I was intrigued by it though, because then I was like, how did they do that? Like, but yeah, it creeped me out. Zombies always creeped me out for a really long time too. That was one thing that I just was like, ooh, I just can't. But now I've seen so much of it that I've, exposed, so to speak. It still kind of bother me though, because like some part of me almost feels like it could happen. Like if you had some kind of, it would have to be a virus, I would think, that like similar to rabies, that would cause the person to not be themselves but yet be drawn to biting. So yeah, it's kind of almost like, well, rabies does that. It overtakes you, and its main means of transportation is through saliva. So the virus makes the host bite. Like that is something that the host has to do. They are driven to do it, to transmit that virus to a new host. And it's fascinating because the virus doesn't have a brain. It's not a sentient being, yet it controls the host in ways which are pretty damn scary. So ask me anything you want to know about rabies as well, because I know a lot about rabies just because I deal with rabies vector species, and in my side hobby of rehabilitating animals, I do occasionally, I can come across a rabid animal. So I know a lot about rabies, and so it's very scary to me. Just the thought of something that could do that to something, that's that can think for itself, and it does that. So yeah, that's freaky to me. It is. Well, it's deadly for one, so yeah, scary there for sure. Yeah, you definitely don't want to come across rabies at all. Would not recommend. Y'all just watched me draw this girl, right? I had no issues. I feel like I struggle with flowers. I don't know why. I've got this going on, so maybe I should just draw another one down at the bottom. Like I can never make it symmetrical. And I don't want to copy paste because it just looks terrible when you copy paste, so yeah. I'm struggling with the flower, y'all. Like this first one here, beautiful. Beautiful! Maybe I just need to stop worrying about being perfect with it and just draw it the way I drew it originally. Do it like this. Maybe that's the answer. Just go with it. Are they? You feel like they are? Okay, because it's not just me. But then I think what it is that I'm trying to make it perfectly symmetrical, but if you think about it, plants aren't that way. Like they just are. They're just what they are, right? And you don't look at a beautiful flower or a plant and go, "Oh, you're not exactly the way that you should be." You're just like, "Oh, that's a flower. It's pretty." Yeah, I'm trying to do a sunflower. I don't even know if I really got it right. I think I do, but I'll have to might have to make some revisions to this. Right. Oh gosh, I can't even imagine trying to draw something like, yeah, realistic. Yeah, that would be hard. I'm definitely not on the realism spectrum of things. I'm very much I guess a cartoonist. I guess you should say. I don't really know what my style is. I mean, I'm just kind of like, you know, I wake up in the morning and I'm in the shower and I'm like, this is what I come up with. So, you know, there's no, yeah. And then I'm like, surely somebody's done this, right? Surely somebody has drawn, good. Okay. So it's not just me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna draw this. It's like what I want to draw. Like, it's not like I have this style. Oh, I'm gonna whip out some more, you know, and there's nothing wrong with kawaii because I've done it. There's nothing wrong with chibi because I've done it. You know, and I'm just gonna whip out some cute freaking watermelons with big ol' eyes at you or whatever. And that's my style, right? Like I'm consistent. And I'm very jealous of when I go to someone's page and they are consistent and it just looks really good all the way down. And then you look at my stuff and it's like, huh? Yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about things. And I look too, like I'll look at things and I'll be like, oh, I like the way that looks, so I'm gonna draw that, right? I'm gonna put it all together. But I looked too. I looked all over all the internet. I put, you know, girl giving Leatherface a flower. Now there's a really cute chibi of Leatherface holding like a dozen roses, and that was cute. But nothing that I could find that was like this. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna draw it. Even if there was, I would have drawn this anyway in my own way. But yeah, that's. I don't have a set style, I guess. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or not. And I think when I draw too, I like a challenge. Like I said, I've drawn. I don't know if it's shibi or chibi. I'm not sure, but you know, it's little cute things. And I've got horror icons that I've drawn in that style, and I think they're cute, and I loved, and it was fun drawing that way for a minute. But it's not like I would make that my signature style. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of it out there. Some of that stuff's really super cute. Like I watch this one gal that she, I think she's on TikTok. I think that's when I first started seeing her. But she will take things and combine them in a really cute way and then draw them. So for instance, like she's got a corgi and she was drawing corgis, and then somehow it got started on like doing crosses of things. So someone said, "Oh, can you draw a corgi bumblebee?" And so she drew this fat little corgi and these tiny little wings, and it was the most adorable thing ever. And it was like a mishmash of things, like just stuff like that, where, you know, a bumblebee corgi, and it was, I think she called it I can't remember what she called it, but it was super cute. And that's fun. And then, you know, so she's been doing that, and that's kind of her style. But I don't know. I don't know that I let style dictate what I draw, if that makes sense. I'm more of a like, I like the way that looks, or I like the way that is presented in my head. So let's do it. And then I'll move on to something else. Like I've got some, what I would consider some pretty serious pieces in my Procreate, in this app. But they're still not realistic drawings, I guess is what I should say. They're just a little more serious than, say, this. Actually, I think my flower came out pretty good. Not bad, actually, now that I think about it. Now that I look at it. Now that I got over myself. I mean, there's a little bit of a gap on this one here. And then down here. But I guess that's okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm the same way. Same way. So that's so weird because I was just like, no, it's just how I am. Don't really have a style, but here you go. This is what I got. So I'm happy to hear that someone else thinks that way. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it looks really nice when you take that out of there. Like, oh, I can draw. Like I said, I had to whip this up like really quick today because I'm like, I wanted to talk about the Texas Chainsaw, the new movie that came out. So, and it's been in my head since, what's today, Wednesday? Well, yeah, probably since I saw the movie. Yeah, been in my head. So I'm glad I finally got it out on paper. My brain can come up with something else. Oh. I don't know where to start on him. We're getting close to 12 o'clock too. It's just been about 2 hours, so I'll probably go another 20 minutes or so and then call it good. Oh yeah. Man, drawing makes me thirsty. Yeah, Magical, I think I don't know if you're on my Discord or not, but I think I'm going to make a section where we can all share, everyone can share their artwork, because I'd love to see what you guys do. I don't know if you're streaming or not, but I would love to see, if you're willing to post something of yours. Would love to see it. I'm always, I can spend hours on DeviantArt just looking at other people's styles, but then I get kind of bummed because I'm like, man, I wish I was that good, but, I guess I am in my own way. But yeah, I really enjoy seeing other people's art. I was talking to the app, by the way. You know what? Look. Same. Look, I have all, look at all that stuff I have. It's all stuff that I've started and not completed. This, I mean, I have a stream doing this. It's not done. What else? This is what I'm working on as well. It's a, oh, let me get that out of there. It's a silhouette of the Bates Motel. So, the last time I worked on it, I worked on the car. But everything's kind of out on the outside, but it's all going to be confined within this silhouette here. I don't know, whenever I get back to it, someday. What else? What do I got in here? Oh yeah, some drawings that I've done. I mean, I've got some completed stuff. That was my Valentine's Day card to my wife. And then this one was for our anniversary last year. Those are cute. I like them. My bat that I've been working on. I'm actually doing this version, this color version for a friend because she wants purple, but I'm not sure if it's purple enough, so of course I haven't finished it. Haven't gotten... Here's my chibis. Here we go. So here's my... Oh, there's a line there, but God, let's turn that off. So this is my Jason. And Krampus I haven't finished. He's been in another one, but I haven't finished him here. Predator. I really worked on this one a long time because this one I was first learning, and like I did the background, and then I learned how to like draw these skulls from another guy, and so it doesn't quite match that, but I had a lot of fun making these skulls and then putting them in there. That was so much fun. Oh, here's my Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. Yeah. That. Oh, I've got Alien with Jonesy. I have a lot more though. I want. Oh yeah. In here. Okay. So yeah, you usually have a whole bunch. I kind of did like this off, and so I guess you could say these are consistent as far as the style. So then yeah, I redid that one in this type of drawing or this type of paper. I did a different Predator, and I played around with like some stippling and stuff that I got some brush sets that were like that. I like this one, the twins from oh my god. What's the name of the movie? The Shining. Oh my gosh. I'm losing it. Oh, I like this one's my favorite too, Carrie. That's another one of my favorite movies from back in the day. But yeah, I worked on this one a long time too. I got me a leprechaun, which it is March, so I may be putting him back up on my Etsy site. I was talking about it earlier. Magical. I had these up for sale on my Etsy website, and I got in trouble for Leatherface from the I guess they have the rights to it, and I actually had to look them up, and they are legit. But they asked me to cease and desist, and I was worried that Etsy would take my store down, so I pulled all of these from my store, which I was really bummed about because I thought they were super cute. And I see so many people selling this kind of stuff and continue to do it, and I'm just like, how did you single me out? Like, about all the people that are on there. So, but you know, and I don't want to take money from someone either. I mean, I didn't really think that, since it was so different, that it would be a big deal, but it was, so I took it down. I got a werewolf. I think I'll be alright with him too. I don't know that he's specific to any type of werewolf. Oh, I like this one. This was I woke up and had an idea. This one's The Fog. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. There's a newer version of it, but I would recommend seeing the old version first, the original first. But I liked that one. That was my. Oh, I'm still working on Little Shop of Horrors. See, so started it, left it. Oh, I got a Freddy. Freddy's pretty much done. I think. No, I've still got some detailing to do on him. Oh, Elvira. Yes, Mistress of the Dark. I still have... Oh, I think I... Yeah, so... Okay. Yeah, that's what I did. I was starting on a candle thing behind her. So... Not done. Then we got... Yeah. From Evil Dead. He's not done. Critters. We're still working on Critters. I'm trying to get... We haven't gotten far on Critters at all. Who else? Oh, another Shining Jack Torrance. That is my own, but if I put it up, I'd probably get in trouble, so I guess I can't. But yeah, oh yeah, I did this for my mother-in-law for Mother's Day last year. So, I mean, I guess I kind of have a style, but like this is completely like, I guess it's still the same. Whoops. And this one I did for my friend's birthday last year because she loves Vikings, and then I was like, Eric the Fry King, and it just cracked me up. So I had to make him. That's kind of just how it is. If it comes in my brain, it has to come out on paper. And this is yeah, we're doing Over the Garden Wall. I haven't been back to that. Just kind of left it. Oh, Saturday night when we did our scary stories, I actually got this drawn out but didn't do any color. Oh, I am making a leprechaun gnome right now for my niece or my nephews, because they are always sending me. It doesn't matter what holiday it is, they send me a card, and I feel like I lack so much in sending them cards. So I am making this gnome, and I kind of put little like detail into his hat and whatnot. So I'm working on him. I probably need to get him done. Actually, it's probably what I'll do tomorrow. Then I need to finish him to send to them because they are so sweet and send me cards every holiday every year. Oh yeah, I did this for my other niece. She is a Hufflepuff fan. But that's not the final copy, but that's the kind of like a rough draft. Oh, and me, I have this series of myself being it started out as a Nerdosaurus, and then now I've like got all these other different types of sauruses, so I draw them and then I like change them to what they are. I know it sounds really just ridiculous, but yeah, I have them to do. So I have tons of things in here to do. I mean, so much that I've done that I haven't gotten back to. Oh yeah, here's when I was doing my little, I guess you would say trying to do like Hawaii type of things, but you know, I did a belated birthday with a little cupcake. I kind of like this one because he's like, look at 13, and he's like, ooh, I love that. Cracks me up. But I didn't, you know, this is when I was first starting out with Procreate, and I was learning how to like, I was obsessed with the light pen, so I was obsessed with making it around the ghosts and whatnot, and so I did that. And then I was trying to do like, you know, here I can already tell I should have done some things different, but like I was obsessed with doing things and then shading, like trying to make it look like it was actually part of the headstone. So I did a lot of that kind of stuff when I first started drawing on Procreate. And these little guys, I actually had someone on my Etsy shop though, she wanted this in a shirt, and I think a shirt and a print, and I was like, oh my god, really? And so, but it was kind of hard to do the individual ghosts because I've got that halo, But I did it. I managed to do it. I got it done. And so, yeah, I thought I was very flattered by that. This one I like masking for a friend. I try to bring some type of humor into my stuff. Oh, here got ghost busted. Eating a donut. Oh yeah, with my little ghosties. But yeah, that's kind of how. So I mean, I guess I mean, yeah. If I was continuing to draw in that chibi style, then yeah, I would have, I guess, a style you would say. But yeah, but. Right. Yeah, definitely cartoonish. I have never drawn something serious in my life other than like still life. You know, lemons and fruits and things like that. I've done that, but yeah, when it comes to anatomy and things like that, I don't have the desire to do serious like a port like try to learn how to draw portraits or anything like that. I like to draw things that make people smile and make them laugh, and I bring humor into it. So that's, yeah, the cartoonish styles. But what type of cartoonish style? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like I said, even on Deviant Art, you know, the people that are cartoonish have that certain style, you know. So yeah. But maybe that will come someday. Maybe I will find my style and I will just stick with it, and that's the way it'll be. Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, drawing on Procreate's not for everyone. My wife doesn't. She's a traditional artist, and she does dog portraits. So yeah, it's I don't know how she does it, because honestly, I mean, I know she makes mistakes. We all make mistakes when we're drawing, and I can just hit a redo button and it's gone. But for her, I mean, it's kind of a big deal sometimes if she makes a mistake and she's not happy with something. So, but I guess she found this paper that she can draw on. It's kind of like vellum, I guess. And you can draw on it and you can erase as many times as you want, and it doesn't affect the structure of the paper. So that's been good. And I love that she decided to draw. I mean, I always encouraged her in the past, but she was just like, "Oh, I can't draw," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can." And so she took some classes, and man, I'm telling you, she could be charging for what she does easily. But she's just doing kind of like for family, and then people that she knows that, yeah, that she that they've lost their dog. You know, she'll do a portrait for them, and so it gives her the practice. And yeah, she's amazing. I mean, amazing. So way more than I could ever be with it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think right now it's good. Like she's, you know, it's given her the chance to practice, and then she's not beholden to a time frame. So I think that would probably, you know, getting used to like churning out art and churning it out in a timely fashion would stress me out even. I mean, usually if I get someone that's like, yeah, I want that, I've already drawn it, so I'm not like, oh my god, I've got to do this. Yeah, see? It's like, you know, you got to get to it, and it's like there, and you're like, oh, I got to do it. So, or like, sometimes I'll have something, and oh, so for instance, like the bat that I'm drawing, I'm actually making a series of stickers, and I have a friend that was like, hey, you know, I would really like one of those, and so I just said, oh, okay, you know, just let me know what color you want, and so that's where that purple bat came from. So I've got to finish that up and get it printed for her and send it off, but yeah. Sometimes just even taking something I've already drawn, I mean, there's no stress there. I've already drawn it. It's already ready to go. Can pretty much snap in whatever color I want, but as you can see, it still sits there. And I'm drawing on this instead, so. We actually tried to do a stream where I made the stickers and nothing worked. The 2 times I tried it, it was a complete disaster, so I don't know. Probably just stick to just drawing instead of trying to show you guys the whole sticker process. Yeah, I will. The hardest part for me with art though was figuring out what to charge. Man, that's hard. Because you're like, oh wow, this person loves my artwork, and you're so like, for me, I was just be like, oh my god, really? Like, you actually want that? And you know, so then you're like, well, you know, how much do I charge? I don't want to overcharge, but yeah, so I had to learn a lot about paying yourself and paying yourself for your time. So you know, and so when you know, putting stuff on Etsy, you know, I was really low. I was setting things really low for a long time, and I was not. I mean, I wasn't doing it to make money. I just wanted to put it out there. Yeah, and so I had to learn how to put my time in there for myself, because I wasn't doing that for a really long time, because I was just happy that someone thought enough to buy what I was putting out there. So I was flattered by that. But yeah, so I mean, I did eventually get myself a formula, and I have it actually in a spreadsheet. So I have every single thing that I've bought, every single thing that would go towards making that particular piece of whatever. And then of course my time, paying myself first. I kind of just give myself the going rate for the minimum wage in Texas, which I think is like $10 an hour. So, because you know, the stuff I'm not making masterpieces here. I'm just, you know, doing some cartoon work. So I don't usually charge too much, but I did go back and change some things about how I was charging, because I was undercharging. And the thing on Etsy is you don't want to undercharge, because if you undercharge, then the person that's actually kind of making something similar to you, you know, they're not gonna get a sale because they're charging what they should be charging. So you really need to be consistent with what you're charging, so that it's in line with the market, so that you don't undersell on those other people that have been doing this for, you know, longer than you. Yes, definitely want to be paying yourself. Yep, that's the one thing that's hard to come to, is to, you know, realize that, yeah, I need to pay myself as well. And I can charge what I think is worth it. You know, I don't let other people dictate how I price my things. You know, and if it's not something that you can afford, then, you know, that's fine. You know, I have a wide variety of things that, you know, I kind of feel like fit different budgets. So, and nothing's outrageous. So, but I know money's tight for a lot of people. They can't even afford a $5 sticker. I get it. So, but again, with that, I have to say, well, you know, you're taking the time and the materials and the labor for me to do this, to make it. I've got to package it. I've got to ship it to you. You know, and I have stuff that goes with that. I've got little freebies and, you know, business cards and things like that. So I had to factor in all that. I mean, I even have it down to where I've factored in the amount of ink that it takes to print something, you know, whatever it is that I'm printing. Like, how much ink am I using? How much is the paper? How much is, you know, everything that goes with that. So yeah, I've got it all. I finally just had to sit down for like a day and then just plug it all into an Excel spreadsheet so that I can like visualize it, and that made it a lot easier. That made me see it and go, ah, okay, all right, yeah, I really need to be charging more for this than what I'm charging. So yeah, that was really helpful. Thank God for the internet, man. I'm telling you, yeah, I don't know where I would be without it, quite honestly. There's just so much good stuff out there, and there's so many good people out there, and especially like even with this, I would have never tried to do this if I hadn't gotten help from like other YouTubers and other streamers and things like that. Like this was not on my radar, on my wheelhouse at all, to do anything like this. And I still sometimes go, man, should I stream? You know, like, I don't know, does anybody really care? Am I gonna go watch? But even if it's just one person, man, I mean, I'm super stoked that Magical, that you came by tonight. I mean, that means a lot to me. I mean, you have lots of choices, so I really appreciate that you know, decided to stop by and stay for a bit and chat with me about things. That's why I do it. Thank you. Yeah, and not everyone can make it. I mean, you know, my times are a bit different, so yeah, and I mean, I know people make friends, and so they tend to, you know, kind of gravitate towards, you know, their friends' streams when they can, so that's always good. Didn't mean to do that. See. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here myself. I worked today, so a little tired and a little beat myself here, but thank you for coming by. I will be streaming again on Saturday, so if you can make it, please stop by, and have a good day at school tomorrow. Trying to figure out my style, right? Yeah, no, thank you for you know, letting me know that I'm not the only one out there that thinks that way, so I appreciate it. We'll see ya. Alright, and with that, I think we're at a good stopping point here for tonight, so I am also going to go ahead and hop off to bed and get some sleep in. And okay, yeah. Good luck with your dance. You'll have to tell me about it. It's been a long time since I've been to a dance. But yeah, so we're gonna wrap up on Mr. Leatherface here. Of course, you know, he's gonna be drawn pretty cool. So once I get everything the way that I want it, I'll definitely drop a post on Instagram so you guys can see it. I probably won't get it colored, but I'll definitely take a photo once it's inked out the way I want it to be. And then we'll definitely get it colored and try to get it finished before I move on to my next project. But Saturday, yeah, let's do Saturday. Let's shoot for probably well, it depends. If my wife is still here, you know, might be later, but if not, and you know, the time is mine to spend how I would like, I'll probably shoot for the regular time around 8, 9 o'clock. I might even pop in on the day, either Saturday or Sunday, just during the day to just kind of see who else is out there during the day. But the next stream should be 8 o'clock Saturday night. Plan on doing some campfire stories again. So that should be fun. And I hope everyone is doing well, that things are good for you, that you're safe, that you're healthy. And until next time, be good and behave yourselves. Take care.